welcome to Nirmal Bang, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiral Datia. We have with us Mr. Sandeep Tandon, Executive Chairman at Syrma SGS Technology Limited, joining in. Welcome to the show, Sandeep, and a pleasure to speak to you. Firstly, congratulations on crossing the first milestone with regards to where the IPO goes. If you could just help our viewers with details of firstly what Syrma does.
So Syrma is a electronic system design and manufacturing company where we help global majors in variety of industries design and manufacture the electronics that goes into their products. So about 40% of our business is industrial customers. So these are industrial appliances that would be like industrial cleaning machines, industrial water purification systems, maybe some coffee machines are industrial. So those kind of things that we make electronics for, that could be the power or the controlling boards for them. The other industry is automotive, which is about 20% of our revenue, where we make various electronics that go into the automotive sector. One of the verticals that is seeing some growth within the automotive is the electric vehicle sector, where we have a customer, TVS, where we're making the battery management and the motor management system for them. Another vertical would be a consumer, where we work on DC brushless fans as well as inverter boards for air conditioners. And then we have in healthcare sector, where we have also a presence. Another growth sector which is just coming about is telecom and IT with the 5G rollouts. So it's very well diversified, and also from markets we serve, about 43% of our revenue is exports, and the other is local business. So in the past it has been higher, but last year because of COVID, some changes didn't happen, but we are expecting exports to be big also.
Right. Okay. So that's with regards to the revenue divide between exports and domestic markets. From the segments that you already mentioned about right now, which are the high growth areas for the company?
So we have almost the high growth that we are seeing coming out is industrial and telecom, because it's such a small base, right? As a percentage growth is coming there. So industrial and consumer and telecom are the three that I would say are all legs going.
Right. And overall, if you see in terms of where the IPO goes, if you could give us details in terms of the IPO as well.
The proceeds?
Yes, in terms of proceeds and, the use and the objective of fundraising.
So this is about, 850 crores or so we are raising from the markets, and majority of that is going to be used for, it's mostly a primary issue. OFS is a very small component. And in the primary, it's mostly for investment in R&D center, and then investment in 2 greenfield locations and brownfield expansions. So one of the greenfield is already done in Manesar that we've already done. And so that's the second plant in Manesar that we've already started off production in April. And then our R&D center in Chennai, we've already started, got that center ready, and we're already manning it. The other is expansion in a plant in Hosur, and then later on in Hyderabad that we're looking at. So we are actually in the export processing zones in Chennai, so that we're doing a lot of brownfield expansion there as well.
Okay.
So most of it is a plant expansion, and about 130 crores is to working capital, and rest is general corporate purposes.
Okay. And overall, if you see in terms of expansion as well, what's the current capacity utilization, and by how much are we increasing it?
So capacity utilization in our industry, we tend to not ever go over 80%, but right now we have crossed that line, so that's why we are growing quite fast. And we want to expand our facilities. So typically when we do set up a plant, it takes us about 18 months to hit full 85% capacity. That's our goal. Beyond, once we hit that, we want to keep enough buffer that we're ready to handle more capacity from customers.
Right. And in terms of growth as well, we have seen successful growth coming in from inorganic channels as well, meaning where we've added new product lines and expanded in terms of geographical reach through inorganic means. Is that something as a strategy that we continue to look at?
Yeah, so inorganic growth is very difficult, right? And when you do, it takes a life out of the culture of the company, and so we are not in a hurry to do any acquisitions, but we let our customers define geographic expansion as well as technology expansion. So the two acquisitions we did are very complementary to what we did. So like we got plants in northern India that really helped our growth, and then we added ultra high frequency RFID capabilities to our offering of RFID. So those were the two things, but we were actually, it's almost defined by our customers that where we want to go. So similarly, we'll keep taking guidance from our customers that do we need a geographic location that is very important for them that we can add to, or some technology that we want to add to. So we'll keep our eyes open, and it's a very fragmented industry, so that gives us opportunity. But at the same time, we want to be very careful, not jumping at anything.
Right. So overall, if you see in terms of the kind of segments that you are in, there's a lot of diversity that comes in from a product mix perspective, right? So how do you manage that aspect of it, taking into consideration, because a lot of products that could come in. So is there a system that we follow wherein, okay, these are the only kind of products that we will cater to, but something apart from this is something which might not be done?
So there are vertical, so there's always vertical heads that come about. So like we are very strong in water purification, right? So now that could be a consumer product, could be industrial product, but we have the capability of designing those kind of products. So when it comes to electronics, the way it is not necessarily works out that, so we have a technical dominance in the area like power controls. So that could go across industries. So that's why when you from your perspective, you might see is multiple industries, but from our perspective, it is electronics in a specific area that very strong. So it could be controlling motors, controlling power, or water purification, like I said. So those are capabilities that come over time. So now one other vertical that we're very strong is IoT, which is making communication happen from machine to machine. So we have RFID capability, that's a technology. Now the other technology could be Bluetooth, WiMAX. We have capabilities across the communication platforms to be able to add intelligence to systems. Now the systems could be in industrial segment, it could be in consumer segment, could be healthcare segment. But we come from the technology view, but what we show the market is the industrial view, because that's how the market looks at it. Does that answer your question, or I was?
No, right, absolutely. And with that as well, if you see between exports and domestic, are you expecting the revenue mix to change?
So it's not, it's been choppy. Our strategy is to keep equal balance both places, but sometimes projects take off faster, some area that change that mix. But our whole objective is always to keep that half is what we think the right growth. But sometimes some export the market is huge. So that numbers could, if India's story plays out, those numbers could be much bigger than domestic numbers also. But India moves faster also, because the approval cycles, the audits, all are much easier if you're, in India for India. But for export customers, it does take a little longer to get those audits completed. And their scaling is also slower.
Right.
So we see opportunity both sides. Our goal as a company is to keep it half and half, but when business comes, you take it. So.
Right. And very lastly, overall, Sandeep, my question would be in terms of a key milestone that you would want to cross, what would that be? Because I know we can't give any very immediate forward-looking statements.
My key milestone is India meets its potential of being a location that the world looks at for electronics manufacture. I think we deserve that spot in the world.
So what would our market share be, Sandeep, in this space right now?
Very trivial, very trivial.
Yeah.
Not even worth talking about.
All right. So I think
with
someone like you coming in, probably that's something which would start increasing, and we could have a lot of.
If we believe we can do it, we will do it. That's what India should think. I think
absolutely. Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Always a pleasure to speak to you. Congratulations once again, and good luck.
Thank you so much.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.